Hello, my name is Rick, and welcome to episode 7 of my Sunless Sea Zubmariner Let's Plays. When we last left off, my captain had made it to the Mangrove College. Now that we have the submarine, all we need is a place where we can buy fuel and we can start exploring both the surface and under the dark ocean of this world. This is my favorite part of the game. I get the same sense of genuine exploration I used to from the earlier versions of the Civilization series. Especially since I know there are cities on the bottom of the ocean I've never seen, and new stories to find. In general, the more south you go in the world, the harder it is to find fuel, same with east. Also, there are usually places to buy fuel once you get closer to London. So the plan is to sail north a little and then turn west, until we find any place that lets us buy fuel. Then we can really begin exploring. Let's see how it goes. Let's see. I don't want to pick up a passenger because we have plenty to do without doing that. We don't have the candles for doing Into the Wisp ways. It says, take plenty of candles if you venture in. We have 2. That's not going to do it. And there's nothing else to do here. And no fuel to buy. That's kind of a kicker. So now we're going to head north. I know there's something up here, because looking at the map, there's kind of some kind of hint. It's a light ship or something. Ooh, this is so exciting. Also, if we find... Oh, we cannot not fight that. Because we need its resources. Loot and scuttle her. She's a vile old vessel, and these seas aren't safe. Take what you can and move on. Indeed. That's exactly what we needed. You have finished opening a cache of curiosities. You have gained supplies, you've gained fuel. Perfect. A bolt of fabric. Shake out a little and let it glimmer in the light. Parabola linen. Parabola is the serpent place behind mirrors, or someone made that up. But in that case, where do they weave the sleek and ambery glimmering cloth? You have finished opening a cache of curiosities. You now have 1 bale of parabola linen. I'm just trying to fill in part of the chart. There we go. Isle of Cats. Oh, perfect, perfect. It may not be the cheapest place, but we can buy fuel here. We can start seeing what's under the ocean. We can start doubling up on our port reports. I'm not going to go fight a bound shark, not right this second. Let's go explore. See what these guys have to say for themselves. Port Cavendish, where there are roses. A scatter of yellow-lit honey dens and brightly painted alehouses. To the southeast rises the stone tower of Cavendish Abbey, its ramparts hung with crimson and gold banners. There are sailors from all across the Neath hauling cargo, dicing and brawling good-naturedly on the docks. The air carries the sound of sea shanties sung with more enthusiasm than skill, and the smell of roses edged with brimstone. Ooh, does that tell you something? A piratical welcome. Welcome to the Isle of Cats, the wide-eyed dockmaster says brightly. Would you like to bribe me not to write down your details in this nice official ledger? Sure. Engage a little bribery, why not? You hand over the coins, and she tips you a sharp smile before waving you to the nearest alehouse. The entire process is straightforwardly corrupt and pleasingly efficient. You've gained 1 menace's suspicion, and you've lost 5 echo. Oh, come on. 5 Echo, really? Don't you mean 5 Echoes? This game is weird sometimes, and I, your faithful narrator, just faithfully report the weirdness. So sometimes their mistakes appear to be my mistakes. The Rose and Tiger. The alehouse's sign is a tiger painted the color of rose petals. Someone has gone to great trouble and expense to gild the creature's eyes. They look out over the port, feral and unseeing. A caged hive of lamplighter bees hangs from the ceiling like a chandelier. A few sailors give you hard-mouthed, assessing looks, but most ignore your presence entirely. So there's some stuff to do here, and I'm kind of locked into this because I did the first thing, I now realize. But you know what? That's fine. Significant tokens. The caddies all wear a pair of amber stones threaded around their necks or pinned to their collars. Sure, tell me about that. Cat's eyes, one of them says, for the Pirate King. As far as you can gather, the Pirate King's name is Leopold, and he controls all the trade on this island. Half of the caddies believe that he can take the form of a crimson tiger and creep into their dreams. The other half suspect more prosaically that he simply eats those who displease him. What else you got? Clandestine doings. A whispered conversation, the clink of coins, an exchange of goods. Hey, you know, as a would-be smuggler, I'm interested. What do you got? The merest taste. You turn your head as though you are admiring one of the moldering draperies hung from the wall. A vial flashes in the buyer's trembling hands. He uncorks it, pours a few drops of the thick red liquid down his throat. The vial drops to the floor. When you look back up, he is gone. You blink and look around. Nobody else seems in the least perturbed that a man has disappeared from their midst. You pick up the fallen vial and examine the traces left inside. Sticky honey gleaming with redness entirely unlike blood. Religious observances. Is that a crimson-veiled nun? But what sort of nun would be in a place like this? A mellifluous sister, of course, she responds, performing a complicated negotiation between veil, thick love, and a glass of mushroom wine. You ask what one of those is, and she snorts. I'm glaring at you underneath this bloomin' veil. You act appropriately cowed, and the mellifluous sister thaws a little. We are beekeepers and honey harvesters. The caddy owe their prosperity to us, and the Pirate King, too. She slurps the last of her mushroom wine behind her veil, and the barkeep glides over to refill her glass, eyes respectfully downcast. Leave the alehouse. There must be more to the Isle of Cats than drunken sots and sea stories. Make sure you've learned all you wish to before you leave this place. Thanks, we're done here. Laws of the land. The barkeep stops you before you reach the door and hands you a brooch, set with 2 amber stones. He waits impassively until you pin it to your clothes. Everybody wears the cat's eyes here, he tells you, moving aside to let you pass. Just a friendly reminder that the Pirate King is watching. It seems that no place, then, is truly lawless. Okay, there's... looking around the island... you have the honeyed tongue, Cavendish Abbey. I can compile a port report, which is maybe what I should have done in the first place. Ooh, this is new to me. A gift of glass. An emaciated man in lion-colored robes clutches your sleeve. Please, he says, I'm damned. I can't touch the truth. Take this. He points to an unpromising-looking crate sitting beside a bollard. Oh, of course. One of those. Sure, I'll take your gift of glass. What do you got? Life and light. The sun orders time, do you see? Down here we can only touch time with our fingers. The devils know that. In Irem. His eyes well with tears. Abruptly, he turns and plunges into the crowd. You're left with the crate. You've gained a mirrors, which is one of our stats, which is good. You know, we needed that. And we have an empty mirror catch box, and also time is something or another. Once per happen, something pleasant will happen. Well, it's pleasant, and you've made things more difficult for us, because those even empty ones are illegal in London, I believe. So, hey, woo, I'm a smuggler. Look at me. I'm doing something illegal. Oh, all right. Do I want to do any of these? Yes, I do. Compile a port report. Though the Isle seems at present beyond the reach of the Admiralty's laws, that does not mean that the Admiralty lacks interest in their activities. Well, I don't know who these people are, but I actually like London, and I actually like the Admiralty, so let's see. Roses and Kings. You spent half a day observing the docks and note an astonishing number and variety of ships. Was that a Connie trimaran, nestled beside a vessel from the Iron Republic? The dock hands complain loudly that they have never been busier. The caddies talk ceaselessly and carelessly about smuggling and piracy, but even the most hardened sailors lower their voices when they mention the king. They go even quieter when they talk about the Rose Garden. You make careful notes. Perhaps the Admiralty will understand what they mean, even if you don't. I have some idea. Another question is, do I want to do this right now? And the answer is, I can, so I'm going to. I don't know how far I'll get, but I guess that doesn't really matter. What's the rush? The Honeyed Tongue. It is both brothel and honey den, run by someone the caddies refer to as the King's Claw. Sure, I'll go there. The Honeyed Tongue. Entering the brothel is like sliding into the dream of a surface orientalist. Jewel-embroidered cushions, bright silk drapes, gilded statues of elephants, sun bears and clouded leopards. Silver censers release curling plumes of rose-scented smoke into the air. The courtesans are red-lipped and coal-smudged. When you catch their eyes, they smile back at you with professional interest. Your actions will attract the Pirate King's notice. You need 5 of his notice to gain an offer from a patron. I can't get a meeting with the King's Claw because of that. Ask what red honey is. You know, of course, only the particulars may have slipped your mind. One of the nearby courtesans' eyebrows lifts infinitesimally, but his reply is practiced. When lamplighter bees suck the nectar of the crimson strain of exile's rose, they are driven to madness. They enter the brains of humans and harvest their memories. He shudders as though imagining the process himself. Those memories are instilled in red honey. Each sip is a burst of memory on the tongue. Delightfully awful, isn't it? He flutters his dyed feather fan. You've gained a terror. Great. Just what we don't need. One of the many things that will cause us to turn around and go home. I cannot do these other things here for reasons. Cavendish Abbey. The crimson-clad mellifluous sisters patrol its ramparts and tend their hives of lamplighter bees. Fuel for the bee smokers. How much do you want? 5? Yeah. Well, come to think of it, we have money. Oh, and I have news from London. Let's have a meeting with the abbess. You recite your news to the abbess, your voice stuttering every now and then in the cool silence of her office. Her face is entirely obscured by her thick veil, and it is impossible to read her reactions. Nonetheless, you must have pleased her. She orders one of her novices to load your ship with casks of mushroom wine. The abbey overlooks the rose garden, and so you make a point to linger at the windows. The roses bloom lush and wanton, each petal the color of sunset. A tall woman in a golden veil picks her way between the thorned bushes. You've gained Pirate King's notice. You've gained 5 casks of mushroom wine. Holy cow. That is a lot. It's going to take up a lot of room. I'm surprised we even had that much room. Must be the lack of fuel. But maybe we can fix that. Hello, shops. Oh, what do you know? Fuel, not horribly expensive. We could just buy our bribe right here. It would be more expensive this way, but it would save me a trip. How much is that worth? It's worth 5 fuel. This guy has financial resources he's never tapped into, by the way. He's got glittering treasures just sitting around his house in London, just waiting to be sold. So, if and when we run out of money, which we are, because this trip has been spectacularly unprofitable so far, other than this mushroom wine thing, maybe we can do something with that. Or take it to Vendorbite, where they wanted 10 wine anyways. That could be interesting. We'll see if it lasts that long. So, back to our story. Fuel for the bee smokers. The sister who tends the smokers is the talkative sort. The sister tells you that the Pirate King went to Abbey Rock 50 years ago and asked the abbess to send some of her novices to Port Cavendish. You ask why, and she shakes her head. The better question is, why did the abbess send her precious novices to a place like this? You suggest a hefty bribe, or perhaps coercion? The sister cackles harshly. The sisters of the rock respect strength of arms, which of course the Pirate King knew only too well. He challenged the abbess to a duel and won. She didn't have much choice then. She cackles again. Ask our abbess if you don't believe me. She was one of those very novices sent across the Z. I've lost 5 fuel, I've gained 60 fragments, and I've gained some notice. My antics now intrigue. Oh, if only that could be so. Continue. Yeah, we're done here. Where are we? Where are we on the map? Oh, we're here. Okay, fantastic. Well, Isle of Cats, as worst comes to worst, can be our new little home base of operation. We have way more supplies than we need. Our terror is relatively low. We have no super pressing need to return to Fallen London. And we could really use to find Khan's Shadow, Khan's Heart, Polythreme, any one of several places before we get back to London and get sent on a mission to the far north, which is what's going to happen. Ooh, let's leave and let's look at what's under the ocean. Because we can. You don't even know what's around us, but hey, maybe there's something nearby. Maybe there's free resources on the bottom of the sea. Maybe there's large and terrifying Z-beasts that are far too much for us to handle. Actually, that's not a maybe. Oh, it's this guy. The Impolite Investigator approaches you, smiling. Now we're safely submerged. I have a question, Captain. I've discovered that several crew members are attracted to you. Would you become intimate with any? If so, who? How would you engage? And why haven't you indulged yet? Well, let's ponder that question a little bit, shall we? In this game, the male characters will all have sex with you basically for asking, and the female characters will only have sex with you under very specific circumstances, or if you go to heroic lengths to rescue them from death or other really extreme things. I wonder where they get this idea from. Anyways, refuse to reply is an option. Respond to him with a secretive smile, let him draw his own conclusions. Threaten to keel-haul him. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, or subscribe. If you came here from Reddit, upvotes really help. It's a small thing that makes a big difference for my channel. If you enjoy this content and really want to help, tell a friend. Anyone who likes video games or audiobooks might like this. Thanks for watching.